LCBO is a liquor control board of Ontario. We still have that left over from the Prohibition days in Canada. Here I have one of those star dies again, but inside of the die I actually put a heat transfer, the Canada flag. Moving on, I have a heart, but this is a 3D heart with a CAD cut flock. It's a Gerber machine, a vinyl cutting machine, where you can purchase a flock product in different colors, and it is cut on a CAD machine, and all we did was use the lasers on the embossing machine to line up where we put the flock, and then we hit it at once to get that effect. Very simple, very quick. Now it gets a little more interesting. Here we have gold foil and embossing. And this is the idea where you could use different resort towns and use the same theme throughout. And this is a very thin, inexpensive shirt, and it retails for $22, for example. So depending whether you're in the retail business or you're a wholesale business, a $2.50 t-shirt with a 10-second embossing and a 15-second gold foil heat transfer, which can be done the same time as the embossing, you end up with a $22 item retail. That means everybody along the line can make some money there. I showed you a little while ago the track die, and here we just dumped the word making tracks and then put that in the middle of the t-shirt, and it's meant to be like a motorcycle or a cross-country off-roading bicycle. There's that star die again on a washed t-shirt. When I have people come into town, they always ask me, how does it last? And it's a big question, so I let them always touch the inside and show them that no matter how many times you wash it, it is going to last. And the samples I sent you, you should have a large t-shirt there. I invite you to wash it and wash it and wash it and see for yourself, to convince yourself so you can go to your clients. No other backing can guarantee you a lifetime washability like that, like the Boss Back can. Here's Tweety Bird. And here's Mickey Mouse. All right, and just to show you, I think I can do it on this one. I'll check and see. Let me just turn this out inside out quickly. Okay, now people say, well, how do you clear away the backing? It's very simple. You cut with an X-Acto knife a large piece that covers the embossing, and then you tear it into the garment itself. So just a very quick tear and cleanup, and it's not unlike, it's a bit difficult to do up in the air here. If it's on a table, it's a lot easier. But it's not any more difficult than for you embroiders to do your tearaway backing. And like I said, if I could do it on a flat surface, not in the air, just so that you could see it. Okay? There you go. And just take your thumb, pull out the rest, and there you go. And now this is the classic example of a good embossing at the right temperature and the right pressure, because the dark areas are the down areas and the white areas are the stuffed areas. So the ears are up on Mickey Mouse. But I just wanted to show you, it takes a couple seconds. I didn't count that, and I did it in an awkward way, but if you throw it on a table after you've embossed it, it's going to take you just a few seconds to clean it, no different than with embroidery. Here's the Porsche on an unwashed t-shirt, what it looks like brand new. And you notice that it's black and even everywhere, there's no difference. But as you wash the garment, it gets character, and that's what's unique. So if you're a Porsche aficionado and you wear this t-shirt every single day and you wash it every night, it's going to look very different than maybe me, who only wears it at the Porsche Club weekend on once a month on a Sunday, and I wash it maximum 12 times a year. So you do get character and definition with embossing, which is what people want, obviously. This was a cute idea, and all we did was take a tie-dyed shirt that had a little bit of the tie-dye throughout the center. We actually created an embossing die, and within the embossing die we put the Permaboss logo with the word sports in flock. And that was all done in one hit, so you're still talking about 10 to 15 seconds for any decoration, even if it's a multimedia effect. And the whole point is you want to go show this to your clients, because you always get asked what's new. Here's a few of your answers. And any one of these that you see here, you can learn during the training for your embossing machine. This is exciting because it's the 3D color flock. It's a 2-color flock system, and with a large full front die. Now what you do have to calculate when you quote this is the cleaning time, because it's a little bit challenging when you have the letters. So if you were doing thousands of these, I would actually farm this out to radio frequency, because they can do it cheaper. It's just like with screen printing and with embroidery, there's so many of you out there that there's always somebody willing to do it for less money than you. And the same applies to radio frequency. There's several big supply houses out there who are desperate to run their expensive machines constantly. So if you're going to do thousands and thousands of pieces, I mean, you know, 30,000 pieces, 40,000 pieces, or do a Walmart order, I mean, my preference is to farm that out and keep yourself busy with the smaller jobs and getting more jobs. I just want you to know all the facts up front, so that if you meet us or you do have our equipment 6 years from now, you're very clear on exactly what we told you and you find out that it's true. In this case, you have single one color screen printing with a puff ink. Now, interesting, pay attention for you embroidery people out there. This is a piece that's a full front decoration. Now imagine if you had to do this design, this sort of seed, it's actually a fan, the picture of it. I don't know if you can see that in the light. We emboss that first and then we embroider it second, because in this case placement isn't such an issue. You have a large margin of error, and then doing it this way you don't have to use an embroidery backing, because the emboss backing behaves exactly like the embroidery backing. So you emboss first and you embroider second. And the unique thing is that this embroidery takes maybe 5 or 7 minutes roughly, worst case scenario. But if you had to embroider this large piece, you could forget it. And this sweatshirt was selling for $48 US. It's a nice quality sweatshirt, but it's a 5, 6 minute, 7 minute decoration embroidery and a 15-second embossing full front. Another good example here is, in this case, embroidery first, because it's so easy for you to do your hooping the way you're used to doing it. But here, we just took the laser on the embossing machine, lined it up on a couple particular corners of the top of the J, the bottom of the P, and then boom, we hit the track and have a multimedia design. And this looks technically difficult, but it's really easy to do, and that's the whole idea. You want to scare away your competitors from quoting on jobs that they can't do, or they have too much handling, or they see it as too difficult. And that's perfect, because for you it's very easy. Simple example, 1, 2, 3 color, and we did the screen printing first. We have a little trick here. Because we make our molds on a CNC machine, we actually cut out the center. If you get your molds etched, which is explained in your book, then you don't have that luxury. And this way we could emboss around the screen printing, came out with a cool effect that's very difficult for most people to do. So I'll tell you the story quickly here. This is a small kids t-shirt. We had Algonquin Park, what was it, Making Tracks? I forget 1 second what it was. It was called Life Without Pavement, and here we said make a splash. But what we did was, this person would never buy more than 400 t-shirts a week, and the story is that he sold this, it was a Gildan t-shirt, for $29. And the people would go in the resort and they knew that they could get t-shirts cheaper than $29, but what they couldn't do is all those stores in that resort area didn't have a multimedia effect. So the people would come back and buy it, but they always complained so much that the guy never trusted he could unload them and didn't want to get stuck with them. So every week he called and ordered 400 pieces, but it went on all summer for a couple summers. It was a very successful program. And we made a whole series of dies, and we could make the feet go different way. We could put different themes in here. So we're changing them every couple of weeks, and they sold like hotcakes, literally. Very large embossing, 2-color screen print on top of the embossing, and this is something that no other machine can do, because it's very technically difficult to align the screen printing on top of the embossing. However, with the Permaboss machine, it's a very quick setup. Actually, it's in the video, and it's a very simple process to do. 2-color, and when you have embossing in 2 colors, it's more than enough. It doesn't need to be louder or more bold than that, because it already makes a statement as it is, because it looks so impressive.